Hi, Yves. Thank you for this opportunity for interviewing you. How are you, Yves?
Very fine. And you? Thank you, Nizam, to invite me to present my work. And I'm very happy to be with you. So
Yes.
let's go to fun, to have fun.
Yes. So, friends, here is Yves. He is a psychotherapist, trainer, and supervisor, designer of the self-emotional balancing method. He specializes in the support of complex traumas and attachment disorders. He also works with psycho-bodily and compassionate approaches. He is the founder of several training schools in psychotherapy, author and co-author of several professional books such as Clinical EFT, Provocative Energy Therapist, a sessions casebook of theorized commented cases, and many more personal works of poetry. Excuse me. He teaches around the world, like Australia, USA, Bulgaria, Morocco, Northern Europe. So that's Yves for us. So let us know more about self-emotional balancing method from Yves. Like what inspired? Oh my God! When I was exploring,
Yes.
it has connections with so many modalities. So, what inspired you to develop, and what is the history behind SCB? Please, could you please share about it?
Yes, with pleasure. So the basis of this self-emotional balancing method, it's because during my childhood, I was a molested child. So
Oh,
I work a lot on my own trauma, and I try to find some way to help this traumatic event. But I still observe that that's one level and one layer of the trauma. I'm just observing something happened, but I was not able to reach the really wounded part of me. So I began to think differently. I said, okay, I think there is no one method that could be help me. So I
yes,
began to train myself in a lot of different methods to try to understand how to manage this together and to reach this bottom of my own trauma. And that's why I try a lot of different methods, and I began trainers or supervisor in a lot of methods. So hypnosis, EMDR, technique like energy psychology technique, a lot of them. I think I was in 4 different methods trainers. So look like TAT, EFT. I invented with my wife at this moment of my life the clinical EFT. We begin to teach that in Europe this kind of way. And after that, I was also totally involved with the compassion because I had so many angers in my childhood, angers against me, angers against my parents that beat me or hit me. So I just understood that if I want to be in peace, I need to to follow the path of the compassion. So that's why I begin to interest myself to the Buddhism approaches and the compassion and so on. And there is something very different with the word compassion, because in Europe, compassion is related with the Catholic Church, but it's not the same that the compassion in the Buddhism. So in the Catholic Church is the compassion who you suffer with the other, you are suffering with the other. But in the Buddhism, that's not the suffering. We understood that the suffering is just a mental state, it's a mind state. That's not the truth, that's not the reality. So I discovered also the ego states therapy. The ego states therapy, it was a way to explain that during our childhood, we begin some protective parts, some protector parts to be able to manage our environment and what we are living in our life. So the ego state is very interesting because it's a evidence-based model. So there is a lot of researches about that, and we know there is exiled part, so the hurted, the wounded part. After that, we can have the burden of the exiled part. And after that, we can have the protectors. So the fireworkers that try to extinguish the pain, the suffering through the rumination, mental rumination, the obsessive compulsion, phobia, addiction, and excessive behaviors. So when you understand that, you say, okay, that's why I manage my pain like that. I, I began a workaholic. I work a lot. I, I like to work, but I just realized that it's just a way to avoid the suffering. But that's not the path of the peace. So it remember me a thing when it's very funny thing. During 3 or 4 years, my house was in Brussels, the capital of Belgium, and the house just next mine, there is um, in a fish in there is a like a page on the wall, and on the page it was a citation of Gandhi. It was there is no way for to the peace. The peace is the way, or something like that. And during 3 or 4 years, I just, in my mind, I thought, that's ridiculous. It means nothing. I don't understand that. It's, it's the way, the way. And 3 years later, or 4 years later, suddenly, one day, I just open my door. I take a look on in this picture again for the, I think, perhaps 3,000 times, 4,000 times. And suddenly, I just realized, oh yeah, there is no way for the peace. The peace is the way. It's just because accept to be in peace, and you are in peace. Just so there is no way. There is no step to reach the peace. It just accept that if you accept to be in peace, you are in peace. So and this day, it was I think what, 14 years ago. I just realized that, and I said, okay, so to be in peace, I just accept what I lived. What I live is not my present time. It's just the memories of my past time that I could live again. But if I just accept to do differently and do with the self-emotional balancing, so I just understand that we can work differently. And self-emotional balancing, it's just because with the ego states, I realized that there is a manager part of me, so that analyze and control everything with a lot of compassion. But it was still something from myself to try to control myself and to control the peace in myself. So it's something, it's a part of me that do something. And doing something, it's not the self. It's not the, it's a peace, inner peace that we have nothing to do to reach it, because when we are born, we were in this state, in this space of peace. So I just observe that, and I just propose at this moment to whatever is the tools to obtain some peace. When you reach some calm in your body, you can just invite the part to observe this calm in your body. And there is something that happened at this moment. There is something that's letting go. That's it. And in the ego state, we need to discuss with every part of us, every system. With the self-emotional balancing, every part at the same time just letting go and like so. I try and I found something to work differently, and for me it works. And for the psychologists, the psychiatrists that I train, that's the same. They said there is something different because we 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 get out of the mental control and the discussion and the inner discussion and the inner acceptation. We just observe the calm. So there is no way to the peace. The peace is the way. So that's, that's like that.
Okay, that's awesome. So now, if anyone wants to get trained in this amazing modality, so what
Yeah.
are the different ways? How many levels are there? Like apart from French, I'm asking you. So
Yes. So
yes,
the training we can do the training in English. That's not a problem because I can do I can manage that, or there is also a translator if it is necessary. But for the level of the training, there is a basic module because the basic module will present different ways. So will present different tools like EFT, remap points, and also the ego states. So what is it? When we manage this, so it's I think 3 days of basic. After that, we enter in the model. In the model, it's 2 other 3 days. So the level one or the level two with the model, it's 3 days with explain and practice a lot. And after that, there is an advanced the module just to be more deeper in the model. But normally, already with the 6 days, you will think a lot. You will be able to work a lot with some very complicated patient and clients because it's not it's not it's not a difficulty to understand how to manage that. The difficulty is just to be able to manage different way, different tools. But I try to simplify a lot the work. Simplify, but not. Decrease the efficiency of the tool or of the model. It's
got it.
simple to understand, and after that, it's just a way to think. We we need to think differently. We need to learn to think differently. So to get out of our past model of work, like communicate a lot, talk a lot, or something. No, we don't need to do that. We will use that to create some inner peace. And when there is some calm in the system in the body, we just invite to the people to observe the calm. And after that, we apply a protocol that I try to build to be able to manage every possibilities of the parts and of the ego state. But it's not difficult. After that, the deeper, the advanced module, it just for some time. Sometime when the people are very dissociated, so very not able to feel something in your body, we use some different tools just to create this possibility to to feel something in my body and to be able to reach the inner peace. So it's not, and we can use the visual modality like EMDR and so on, or remap fields, or we can use also just TRA, it's trauma release exercise, so just a body exercise to activate the autonomic nervous system, just to letting go the trauma and so on. By example, I trained the Red Cross in Belgium with this kind of tool, just for the people that must come when there is some attentat or some big catastrophe. The, to to help the people to can not to be hurted by themselves by the catastrophic events, we learn this kind of tools and techniques. So it's not difficult to learn. Just after that, how to manage, how to understand how it works. So it's why we need to practice a lot. So during the training, we practice.
Got it. And you have written couple of books, so could you please tell and just tell us also when are they going to be available in English?
Yes. So for the moment, all the books are in French, but normally at the end of this year or at the beginning of the next year, there is a book about self-emotional balancing in English, and normally we are achieving the EFT, the clinical EFT in English too. with a lot of protocol. There is already some article in English, like how to manage complex and simple trauma and so on. And it's published articles. But yes, I need to work a little bit more.
Maybe down the line after 6 months or 1 year, all your work is translated into English and it's available.
Yes, with pleasure, with pleasure. Yes. So the book are interesting because there is a clinical EFT one. Clinical EFT, it's like protocol with EMDR and EFT points. So how to manage the targeting and the complex and the simple trauma. And the book in there is a book of cases, so supervision of cases with different tools, and there is the theory, and after that, how to manage during the session. So it's the integrality of the session. So we can read everything is done during the session to calm the system and with a lot of different topics like phobia, like attachment disorder, complex trauma, and so on. So it's very interesting, and it's a newbie because it was published the first time in 2018, and just uh, edited again the book with the theory or more in the book. It's just right now, so 1 week ago. so so it's just a new one, and so on. Yes.
Awesome. So, it was nice to know about SEB, like self-emotional balancing. The word itself is like awesome, and I'm sure other EFT practitioners, therapists, counselors, any people who are into like working as change makers, healers, they integrate this amazing modality and get benefited. Tips.
You can use that like a self-help for part, and after that, for the professional or the health professional or the coach and so on, we can also use this one because if you well understood the parts of us, so the, the anxiety, the protectors, already like that, we can just think, oh, it's a part of me. It's not me. Oh, I'm not in the angry. It's a part of me. It is in anger. What happened for this part? So we can begin to have some communication with this part. But when we do that, we recuperate some space between the part and how, who we really are. So we can just uh, obtain this possibility just to say, okay, oh, it's just a part of me. Okay, what is your need? What happens? And if we had some tapping points, like with Steve Wells or Andrea Freddy and so on, we can just help the body to feel the peace and the calm. And after that, with SAB, we just do like a like a balancing. So we say, okay, just observe the calm in your body. What happens? There is three possibilities. So nothing happens because it's already calm, or something the calm will will increase in the system. So that's good because it means that the system it's healing, or there is some more agitation. If it is more agitation, it means that there is more part. So we can just name the parts. So we can map the parts, and just after that, okay, there is a lot of parts here. What is really the part that needs some help just right now? We can create some more space between them. And for the complex situation, the complex system with a lot of parts related between themselves, we can also very easily letting go because the observation of the body. So it's very easy to do. Yes.
So you are telling that it goes at a much deeper level because,
Yes.
as you said, in your childhood you had abuse, trauma, then it led you to search for healing, and you ended up exploring all these modalities. Then you kind of fusioned it and then found it, and that's how the SAB has formed.
Yes. One thing in particular, is this. What is the really root wound? It's the lack of love. So if you receive a lot of love during your childhood, there is no wound unhealed. You can
Yes.
heal everything because you are adult. Then you say, okay, it's an event. It was not very cool, but it's okay. It's not just one event. But when you don't receive this care, this kind of caring, of love, so that's why the compassion. So I will use, by example, some breathing with compassion. So like art coherence, 5 second inhale, 5 second exhale. But when we are exhaling, I will propose to just send compassion to all the body, all the parts. It's an intention. It's not uh, something I will do. It's just an intention. So for the mind, it's like I say to you, oh, don't think to the blue elephant. If I say that, it's too late because name the blue elephant, you think to the blue elephant. And for the mind, it does the same. If I think, okay, just be in the intention to send some compassion, and compassion translated like unconditional love. So the mind will do that, but it's in intention. So he doesn't realize that he's doing something. It's just natural. It's like saying, okay, blue elephant or pink elephant. It's just like this. And when you are observing the calm in the body in the same time, so you observe the calm will calm more and more and more, and compassion when I'm exhaling. So there is some repairing. It's repair the trauma. It, that's one of the particularity of the SOB is because we mix different approaches, and at one time we can do that and like that, and it will create this easy way to heal because you are not something one modality. It's one modality. If the people don't enter in the frame, you are blocked. But here there is no block. It's like Aikido. I practice a lot of Aikido. You move a lot. You move every time. So it's like an Aikido for the mental, for the mental and the spirituality. Say, okay, this system is blocked there. Okay, I will just use the strength of the wounded just to bring him to think and to live something differently. Eh, just observe what happens. More calm, it's more self. More agitation, it's more parts. I just name the parts, and I can just, if I name the parts, I just be able to create more space between the parts and the people, the client. So the compassion will achieve the process.
Awesome. Awesome. So it's like it was wonderful knowing about SCP, about your journey, how you developed it, and it is really a wonderful tool for self healing and helping others as well. It's been lovely talking to you, and it was amazing. When I was like understanding, wow, such a beautiful modality it is, such a gift you have given, and thank you very much for sharing your experiences.
Thank you to you to invite me. Thank you to. If you want, once we can do like a demo together or with some people that
Oh, definitely, definitely, Yves.
we can do that if you want. You just warn me, and it will be with a big pleasure. Just to show you how we built this construction and this healing.
Sure, sure, Yves. That would be amazing, and we will definitely plan that as well for sure.
Thank you very much. So.
Thank you very much.